preparing for assessment. To find out if you are eligible for direct payments, a social worker or care manager will meet with you and carry out an assessment of need. Everyone we met felt it was really important to be well prepared for the assessment and to have support throughout the process.
When you're looking at being assessed, what the social worker will come and do is come and talk with you at hopefully quite reasonable length about the amount of hours per day usually, and by extension therefore per week, of assistance that you need. Now, before in fact they come for that meeting, it's really quite crucial that you should have a good think about what you do each day, how long it takes you to do it, what sort of assistance you need to help you do that, and how long it's actually going to take. So, for example, do you need help to get up in the morning? Do you need help to have a bath or a shower, to go to the toilet? You need help with cooking of breakfast and clearing things away. As the day goes on, are you out and about? Are you going to college? Are you out to work? Do you need somebody to drive you there? Now, ideally, your funding should also cover you for a number of social functions. So if in fact you want to go out to the cinema or to go to a local club or something like this, then ideally your funding should include that as well, because life is much more than just existing, getting out of bed, having a meal and going back to bed again. Life extends further than the front door of the house.
Did you have any help with the assessment?
Yeah.
Who helped you with the assessment?
My social worker.
How did you feel about the assessment?
It was a bit tiring. Well, sometimes it's intrusive.
Sometimes it's intrusive.
Yeah. You've got to paint the town about you or what's wrong with you so you can get the assessment done.
Having done an assessment, any advice you'd give to other people? Would you suggest they have someone with them?
Yeah, an advocate.
Why do you think an advocate is a good idea?
Because they can speak up for you.
I can't remember all the details of the assessment process, but it did take us quite some time. I'm not sorry it did, to be honest, because we needed time to think about it all. It was quite a big thing to think about because, for one, it meant if we went on the scheme, we would have someone in our home several hours a day, and we wouldn't be left with a great deal of private life. The other thing I was concerned about was, would we manage all the paperwork? So we did really need those few months to really work out what we wanted to do, but we decided, for Pete's sake, to get him more help, and also to allow me the freedom to do things that I need to do. We'd go for it.
Well, I think you need to make considerable lists in the different categories of need, and there should be, it's projecting yourself forward on the worst day. It's very important, I think, to have these lists compiled before you have the assessment, so that you can cross-check what has been approved and what has been not approved.
The wind is coming out, yeah, it's starting to be windy. It's hard because a lot of the time you spend your life being very positive or trying to be very positive about your child, and when you have an assessment, you have to put this other hat on and say, well, actually, yeah, he's doing brilliantly, he's going to school, he's got friends, but on the other hand, you know, you do have nights when you're awake all night because he's got muscle spasms or whatever, and so you have to say it as it is, and you have to paint sometimes the worst picture. You know, that might be hard to do when the child is well, and so you have to try and remember what it's like when there are times in crisis, the child is ill and you haven't got your family around you to support you or something. So to really remember back and to not just plan for when the social worker came that particular day, how your child was, how your life was, but to think back about your needs. In retrospect, I wished I'd had somebody with me actually at the assessment as well, just to remind me of, you know, things I might have forgotten. It's like when you go to a hospital appointment and you forget, oh, I wished I'd asked this question. So maybe having somebody, a friend, with you might be helpful.
The best advice I had was to keep a diary for a couple of weeks, noting down any occasions when I thought I could use extra support and for how long that might take, and noting down when I didn't do things because I didn't have additional support. And it was very hard to do because it really did highlight to me the areas of my life where I was being held back and there were quite significant problems. So it was it did upset me quite a lot actually in the whole process. But on reflection, it was absolutely the best thing to have done, because then I went to the assessment really prepared with examples of the sorts of things that I really felt I needed support with, and I think that stood me in good stead, really.
What advice I'd give to parents is really, in the first place, have a dream, have a vision of what you want for your child. For me, it was I wanted my son to go to birthday parties, to Boy Scouts, and for me occasionally to have some time on my own. Be very clear about what you want and really sit down and not have any boundaries to begin with. Think, look, what do I really want my child's life to be like? And ask the child what they want, because they'll be very clear about what they want and who they want in their lives. And so the stronger I made the vision and really thought about it, the easier it was when you sat down with somebody, because the social worker's trying to help you, to get what you want. And so the clearer you are, the easier it is for them to help you.
I found it rewarding to know that there is direct payments and that that it could open the doors to me to actually getting some of the services that I've been so longing for such a long time. So I was absolutely delighted to actually get to the process and be assessed and be able to know that there's a whole new world that could be open to me. Yes, you are having to look at the things that maybe you don't want to acknowledge sometimes, like how limited you are at maybe doing the cleaning or changing the beds and things like that, because they can tire you out or you're in a lot of pain. For me, it was like, okay, how can this be readdressed? And this is a way of getting those things done for me, which then can make me be able to have the energy to do other things in my life. So for me, yes, it is a positive thing and an outcome for me.
Independent living, you see, isn't really about you struggling to do the things entirely by yourself that you can with, if you like, mechanical and equipment-based assistance. It's around having people there to help you, fulfilling that role of a personal assistant to help you do the things that you cannot accomplish entirely by yourself. You shouldn't need to struggle at everything that you do. With a personal assistant working in the correct way for you, then things will become as simple and everyday and easy to handle as they do for most non-disabled people.